Welcome to Empower Today. We have been thinking about trees this week in our service series Holy Landscapes, and we looked at trees on Monday and we look at trees again today on Friday. It's really good to be with you today. I read a lot about trees this last few weeks for that service, and one of the things I read about was a children's story called The Giving Tree. And it's about a tree that grows, and a little boy comes along and he swings in its branches as a kid and enjoys playing and climbing in it. And then as he gets into his teens, he eats some of the apples there. And then as he gets into his 20s, he thinks, I need to make a bit of money. So he picks the apples and he sells them to make some money. And then as he gets into his 30s, he thinks, I want to build a home. And so he cuts some of the branches off and builds a home for himself. Then he wants to travel the world. And so he cuts down the trunk of the tree and he builds a boat and he travels the world. And when he's old and grey and a bit achy, he comes back home and the stump of the tree's still there. And he sits on the stump of the tree and rests his weary legs. And the tree is so pleased that it has been able to be of use, to be able to give life to this man from childhood to old age. That's where the story ends. I wonder even if the stump of the tree was used to build the man's coffin. But that would be taking a liberty with a story that's already absolutely brilliant. In the prophets of the Old Testament, we're told that Jesus is the stump of Jesse. He's a stump like that grows into a huge tree. Jesus came and then he died on a tree for us so that we can flourish and have life. Jesus wants us to be like a tall, strong tree, like that one you see behind me. And that's what he desires for us. Somebody once said to me that the problems in our lives, we can look at those like a tree as well. It's a helpful analogy. That there are leaves on the problems of our tree of life that are connected to small branches, that are connected to the trunk that obviously goes down to the roots. And what we do with the problems of our lives, the sin in our life, is we tend to focus on the leaves. Why am I thinking these thoughts? Why am I saying these things? Why am I involved in this addiction? The leaves, maybe they're quite serious. We look at the branches. But what we need to do is look at the trunk and the roots. Why am I doing these things? Why am I horrible to people and sharp with my words? The trunk and the roots might be, actually, I'm really insecure in who I am. And in a group of people, I over-egg it and over-emphasise it and put them down to make me look better. And so actually what I need to do is, rather than working on not saying those horrible, those bitchy things, I need to work on getting a security in me that I'm loved by God. And maybe that even means going back to how I was treated as a young person, or how I'm being treated at work, or how I was treated as a child. And so actually I need to view myself the way God views me, not the way others do. We can spend so much time looking at the leaves and the branches of the problems in our lives, and we never get to the trunk and the roots of it. And the trunk and the roots are big, aren't they? And they go deep and they're strong. And so I get it, and I do it as well sometimes, that it's easier to look at the leaves and the branches. It's easier to look at them because they're easier in the short term to deal with, but they never deal with the long-term things. The trunk, the roots of those problems. I encourage you to ask the Holy Spirit to work in you with the trunk and the roots. I encourage you, as I encourage myself, to have a spiritual mentor, a friend who is further ahead in their walk with Jesus than you are, who can ask you the tough questions in a loving way and help you become more like Jesus. Because Jesus wants us to flourish. He doesn't want us, metaphorically, to be like this tree. There's no health, no life there. Jesus wants us to be like that tree. And when we're like that tree, we're like the tree in the children's story, a giving tree. one that makes a difference in this world for Jesus. Friends, let's deal with the trunk and the roots with the strength and power of the Holy Spirit and see what might happen. Stay safe.